Rick from Back to the Passport. In today's Top 10 video, we're going to be counting down the top 10 destinations that we traveled to in 2023 before we get ready to welcome all the new adventures that await us in 2024. So, coming in at number 10, we have Riviera Maya, Mexico, and we were in Mexico for my cousin's wedding, actually, and it was really nice as it was just such a relaxing getaway, even though my family's a little crazy and loud, but it was still really fun just to do some day drinking, hang out by the pool, walk along the beach, chill at the resort, because we didn't really leave and do much. Although, funnily enough, when we got to the resort, we were kind of looking around, we're like, this looks really familiar. And then I pulled up my phone and looked up photos from the last time we were in Mexico on a cruise, and we had docked right next to the hotel. So that's why it looks so familiar. But it was just really nice to be back there, relaxing, hanging out. Mexico is always going to be a good time, but there were some places we traveled to this year that we had a few more activities planned and got to spend a little bit more time out and about exploring.
So next we've got, at number 9, Athens, Greece. We stopped there. We stopped there on our cruise this summer. It was in June or July, and I never really thought that I would go to Greece, so it was a nice stop. To be part of a cruise because you're just there for a couple days or however long. We docked at like 3 different places in Greece. But yeah, Athens was interesting. It was the biggest city that we docked at.
Yep.
It's interesting because it's just all the history, all the ruins, just everything behind it. Like we went up to the Acropolis, saw the Parthenon, that was really cool. And then just walking through a city, or we'd be on the bus and we'd stop places, and it's just it's a big bustling city, and then hey, here's
an ancient site,
an ancient Olympic arena, or something like that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And of course, Greek food, can't beat that.
Can't beat it.
I mean, especially Greek food's good, but Greek food in Greece is even better.
Yeah. I think my only regret with Athens is it was such a cool city. But like you said, we were there on a cruise ship and we had booked an excursion, and it was essentially either you get back on the bus and go back to the ship, and the ship was docked in Piraeus, which is 30-40 minutes away.
Right.
So we had the choice of, do we stay in Athens to continue exploring on our own, but not entirely sure how we'd get back to the boat, or do we just go back to the ship and say goodbye to Athens? We chose, since it was our first time in Athens and our first time in Greece, we decided to go back to the boat. So I think it'd be really cool to revisit Athens and see more of it, spend a little bit more time in the historic parts, see more historic settings. But it was definitely really cool. The only other thing is maybe we won't go back in July because it was hot. As soon as we got home, we heard news stories of people passing out at the Acropolis.
Well, that's one reason why we didn't do anything else in the cities, because it was just so damn hot.
It was very hot. So don't go early in July. It is warm. Very warm. And I like warm weather. If it was 90 degrees every day.
It's hot.
It was just hot.
Scorching.
And it's bouncing off all the stones. And again, Athens was great. I think we'd both like to go back. But there were other places we visited this year that earned a better ranking. And one of those places, coming in at number 8, we have got Quebec City, Canada. So we went there with my family on a family trip. My parents love going up to Canada. They had never been to Quebec City, and so we all went together. So us, my parents, and then my sister and my brother-in-law. And it was a really unique experience. It kind of didn't feel like we were in Canada, because it just felt like little Europe, just plotted in Canada. And even the language, since most people spoke French around us, it really just kind of felt like we were in Paris. Or, Provence, one of the smaller cities or villages we visited last time we were in France. It just didn't feel like Canada until we were at the airport. And then it's very obvious you're in Canada and there's maple leaves everywhere. But Quebec City was really fun. I honestly wish we had gotten a little bit more time to explore like the food scene, the culture, but I really loved all the things we did with my family, especially like a ghost tour of the city. That was a really fun experience, riding the funicular, and definitely getting our steps in all over that hilly city.
Yep. Yeah, Quebec was nice, very Frenchy. But yeah, good.
Got to practice our French quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then immediately tell them like, whoa, I don't speak it that well.
It's like, I just know bonjour.
Yep. Hello, how are you? Thanks.
All right, next on our list at number 7 is Dublin, Ireland. So. We just went to Dublin as part of our trip in early September, where we went all around the UK. And Ireland as a whole was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Being in Dublin just, added that extra, you feel like you're really in Ireland, So I really enjoyed it. There was, like, the pub scene, obviously, is a pretty big deal. We went to, what was that place? Temple Bar? Yeah. So the Temple Bar area, walked down through there, stopped at some places for some live music.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And we're not live music people. Like, have we gone to one concert together in the almost decade we've been together?
One.
Maybe 2. I know for sure one, but
2. But either way, not usually, like, music people. But it was a lot of fun.
But it was really fun.
Yeah.
It's the atmosphere.
I really like this. It's the atmosphere. It's just, I don't know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
Like, it just
it was really nice just sitting there, like, buying some Guinness, hanging out, enjoying the crowd, because, like, it's pub culture. Like, you are packed in, but, like, I don't know. I feel like it's different being there than it is, like, compared to an American bar. Like, they kind of just expect, like, okay, everyone's going to have to, like, wiggle their way through, and they make way for you, instead of, like, here, where everyone's shoulders become hard as concrete.
Well, and in the specific night we were there was a soccer game, like Dublin versus Denmark.
I thought it was Netherlands.
Netherlands, and, like, there on their home turf, like, they were just playing just, like, a few miles away or something.
Yeah.
And so I would have expected, like, if that was here, everything would have just been packed. There would have been, just ridiculous people throwing up in the street and just all kinds of crazy stuff. And it wasn't like that. It was more tame, more under control, I guess, compared to, like, an American night out, which was nice.
Yeah. Dublin was really fun. Again, I kind of wish, I think the running theme of this entire list is going to be a lot of places that we either saw on a cruise or a guided tour. So we only had like a day or two to explore some of these places. Dublin was definitely one of those. I think there's still plenty more we need to go back and see. But we were lucky enough to, like, do St. Patrick's Cathedral. We saw Phoenix Park. We did get to do the Guinness experience. So we got to see, like, the major things that we definitely wanted to. But I would love to go back and just spend a few more days just enjoying the culture. Word of caution, if you do the Guinness Storehouse, we did not listen to our tour guide and ended up taking one of, like, the horse and buggies back into the city and basically got swindled. So, word to the wise, don't do it.
Just say no.
Yep. I mean, it was fun while the ride lasted, but we were pretty peeved off by the time they were asking for their money, since they told us one price and then demanded another.
Well, they told us the price, and we just assumed that was for both of us together, and then, like, oh no, that was per person. Which
I don't think it was, but I mean, at this point, there's nothing we can do about it. But for fair warning to other travelers going to Dublin,
learn from our mistakes.
Yes, we took that fall for you. All right, coming in at number 6, we have London, England. This is what the second time you and I have been to London together. Yep. So we always know we're going to enjoy it. I think London is a ton of fun. We have done a few of the same things time and time again, but at different places. Like, both times we've been to London, we've done an afternoon tea. The first time we did it on a double-decker bus. This previous time we went to Aquashard, and that was a really neat experience.
Yeah.
The tea was fantastic. I mean, we're not tea drinkers, so the tea itself was okay. But we also ordered sparkling rosé, which was fantastic. But obviously, we're just going there for the ambiance and the view, which truly can't be beat. Like, I would definitely go back, maybe for like happy hour or cocktails, because that would be really cool to see the city lit up at night.
Yeah,
below
definitely. Yeah, we were again another hot time in London.
It was hot. You have not experienced London.
I haven't seen London in the rain. I don't think it rains in London.
Every single time we're there, they're always going through like some record heat wave, and it is ridiculous that you have not gotten rained on in London. Because I've been there a few times without you, and it always rains. I always have to carry my umbrella.
Yeah. Not for me.
No. But we definitely love going back to London time and time again. Again, I think we're talking about potentially an upcoming trip to revisit some of these places that we're talking about today. And London would be included, not only just because it's super easy to get to, but you always know you're going to have a good time. And like the last time, we were a little bit more flexible with our schedule, so that allowed us to do the last minute afternoon tea at the Shard, and then also go see the Back to the Future musical, which of course we had to see. I mean, you can see the name of our YouTube channel. We are obviously huge Back to the Future fans and had to go check it out.
And the next on our list, we've got at number 5, Split, Croatia. And I was afraid if I called it Split to a local, I'd be committing some crime. Yeah. But no, it's pronounced Split, just like it's spelled. And Croatia was another one of those places I never expected to go. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to stop there on our cruise again. Yeah, that was stops on our cruise back over the summer. So again, we only had one stop
like
there,
8
1 afternoon.
9 hours.
Right. So we did a walking tour, right? What was the name of the palace? What was the name of the
Diocletian's Palace.
So yeah, we saw the Diocletian's Palace. Apparently so we're not Game of Thrones people, but apparently it's a lot of Game of Thrones stuff that's filmed there. Mm-hmm. So our guide was pointing out that as well. We're like, oh, okay, I'll tell my friends about that.
Oh, a dragon lived there.
The food, we had good food. Again, yeah, another one of these of our themes is food and drink. So we found a couple places. We did lunch at one little cafe and then strolled around, did some shopping, and then stopped somewhere else for wine, which is really nice. And again, that time of year it was very warm, but there's plenty of stuff to go back to. Croatia in general, like you were saying, there's the national parks, which I've seen and heard lots of good things about that we didn't do any of that on this trip. So there's still lots open for us to do there.
Yeah, unfortunately we were supposed to do a much bigger tour of Croatia that ended up getting canceled, so that's why we did the cruise instead. And luckily we were able to at least visit Split, and then as well as hit up Venice this year, and then check out Greece, which again, neither of us had really said was a place we wanted to go, but I'm glad we did because it was really fun. It was really interesting to see that. But Split definitely caught my heart. I want to go back. I thought it was really fun. All the local people were super nice. The food was fantastic. I mean, it's essentially, a lot of it has Italian flair and flavor to it. I stopped for gelato. And we ended up just hanging out kind of on the promenade and found a cafe that was spritzing water everywhere, had some wine. It was just a really nice afternoon.
Yeah, lots of seafood since you're right there on the water.
Yeah, I think Split is definitely a place that we would be happy to return to and continue to explore.
Yeah, anywhere in Croatia, really. Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 4, we have another Grecian place. We've got Santorini, which is the island, because we got to see both Ia and Fira, which are the towns on the island. I am dying to go back to Santorini, especially Ia. We really enjoyed it, but it was fucking crowded and it was impossible to weave our way through there. So I would love to go back and actually get a hotel room with one of those pools that overlooks the cliffs and just actually spend a few days so we can wait for all the cruise crowds to leave, go check out the city, actually get a real good experience of it. Because again, it was so crowded when we were there that we kind of just ended up saying F it and found a wine bar that had amazing views. I think we got the best views from the wine bar and had some good wine.
Sure, yeah. But advice, if you ever go, don't go on a cruise. Well, if you go, going on a cruise stopping there on a cruise is just every other cruise ship that docks there, they take you all at the same time.
Yep.
So it's just like parking lot full of coaches that, hundreds and hundreds of extra people there that,
Yep.
yeah, it just made it very crowded, but it was beautiful. And yeah, we had a good time.
We had a really good time.
Yeah, I'd like to go back outside of the cruise crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, I would too. I'd like to just see it a little bit more relaxed. And even the town of Fira that we went to, I really enjoyed that because we ended up like eating for like 6 hours at this restaurant that also overlooked the cliffs. Walking down the donkey trail was pretty fun, even if it was smelly.
Yeah.
But I think Santorini was just a gorgeous island. I would love to get back and continue to explore it. Again, maybe if some of those crowds are not there.
All right, number 3, we've got Paris, France. So I fell in love with Paris this year. So it was my first time in the city, right? We've been to the airport like once or twice before, but that doesn't really count. So we went there just a few days. Did we go there before our cruise?
No. So we went to Paris before London.
Right. So yeah, we just popped over there for a few nights before heading to London. And yeah, we didn't really have a ton planned. We did the Eiffel Tower. We had that. We did a ghost tour. One of the things I liked most was just walking around, exploring the city on our own, stopping in at wine bars, cafes, just experiencing.
You notice a theme.
The culture. Yeah, experiencing the food and wine culture is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Paris. I've been there a few times. I had wanted to get Rick there as I knew he was going to love it. He really enjoyed Barcelona. I feel like Paris and Barcelona have a lot of similarities, especially like how they're laid out, how easy it is to get around. I mean, taking the metro, like we stayed in the Latin Quarter, super easy to get over to like the Eiffel Tower for a few of our activities. And yeah, just wandering around, just being able to walk along the street, pop into a shop or a restaurant where the waiters are like, yeah, whatever seat you want, man. And then, oh, okay, we're going to get some champagne and escargot, and we're going to sit here. And if we need something, we raise our hand. Otherwise, they don't care that we're just there having a glass of wine.
They don't run you off. It's
just very nice. I also really enjoyed, we went to the summit of the Eiffel Tower, and then we also went to this observation deck at sunset. I thought that was a really neat experience. Because then you can see the Eiffel Tower. It was gorgeous watching the city turn on their lights at night. And then we also visited the catacombs, which I think is super cool.
That's right. Yeah, that was cool too. Yeah, walking through those skeletons and yeah.
And we still have so much more to do. Like we also did a Moulin Rouge show, but Paris, there's a ton to do, and I think both of us would be happy to go back any chance we could.
Yeah, there's so much. We stayed in a very small area. We didn't really venture out that much. So there's a lot across the river. I don't think we went to anything across the river, really.
We took the metro over to Moulin Rouge, but we didn't explore north of the city.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I will definitely go back.
Yeah. Well, because I even remember on our Uber ride in, we were staying in the Latin Quarter, and so we passed by Notre Dame, and I was like, oh, that's Notre Dame, and what? Just so surprised to see.
There it is, just outside the window, just on the drive, yeah.
Yep. Just all these cool landmarks that are just a part of people's everyday lives, and again, I love Paris. I think it's such a walkable, such a romantic city, and then just, again, the food and wine, can't be beat.
No.
Or especially that day that we sat outside with at the patisserie and got the pain au chocolat, the almond croissant, the baguette. There's a reason my pants weren't fitting by the end of this trip, but it was so worth it.
Totally worth it.
All right, coming in at number 2, we have Venice, Italy, which this was where we went right before our cruise. As our cruise departed from Venice, but it didn't really, it was Ravenna, which is that was what, a 2-hour drive?
At least 2 hours.
Yeah. 2-hour drive away, but we were able to get to Venice, and we stayed, what, was that 2 nights? It was definitely 2 nights.
At least 2. It was 2 or 3 nights.
Yeah.
It was at least 2, yeah.
Yeah, and we found this super cute hotel that was near where we would need to be to catch our bus down to Ravenna. I thought our hotel was fantastic. Kind of tucked away in a little corner, but still very nice. They had a happy hour, so when we got there, we got some glasses of Prosecco, and then they were putting out a food spread. I just think Venice is such a neat city. It was another place that I have been dying to get you to go. Even before our Croatia trip was officially canceled, I had been talking to the friends we were going to travel with about like, how can we squeeze Venice in? Because it's so close and like it's such a cool city. It's such a great place to explore. I think we both are very partial to Italian food and wine. I mean, because yeah, there was that day after our gondola ride that we just walked from wine bar to wine bar to wine bar and just kind of drank our way through the city before doing our like official food tour that included more wine.
Yep. We know how to party.
Yeah. And that was your first time to Venice.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. It was, like this is going to be said for like a lot of these cities on this list is when you haven't been and you only see it on like TV, movies, stuff like that, like they just feel so surreal and like so like, oh, this magical place. But then when you're there, it's just like, yeah, this is just another place. Like, and I don't mean that in like a boring, like bad way.
This place sucks.
But like you said with Notre Dame, it's like people just, walking down the street that live there. It's like, yeah, this is just part of their daily life. Like it's not super as special to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like I don't know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just has a really cool feeling to it.
It does.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you got to see it before it sinks and goes away. And at least we got very lucky with our weather there. Like it was kind of overcast in the morning, but did end up getting a lot warmer. We never had any flooding in the city, so we got really lucky with our stay there. And then also made sure to get in as much gelato as we could, as it was fantastic.
Yep. And it was hot.
It did get hot
everywhere.
I mean, again, we did this trip at the very end of June and into July, so to be expected. Maybe next year we'll actually spend 4th of July in America to celebrate America's birthday. Maybe not.
All right, number 1 on our list, we've got Edinburgh, Scotland. Another stop on our UK tour back in September. And one of the things I liked most about the city was the architecture. Like everything. So cool. Like, some of these cities, they'll be, it's clear that this building or this street is like 1,000 years old, but then it's like right next to like all these modern buildings and stuff. But at least the area that we were in Edinburgh, it felt like being at Hogsmeade or something, like
really
Harry Potter. Like all the buildings were like the same sort of facade structure, and
just even that color.
Yeah, the colors, and even like our hotel was a Holiday Inn, I think, like a chain, but it was just, an old ass building with just, Holiday Inn sign on it. Like they didn't do it in the style of like what you would imagine a Holiday Inn over here. So I appreciated that. And then, we stopped at Calton Hill. Or we walked up to Calton Hill. Calton or Colton? Calton. I got that right. And really nice views of the city. So that was nice. We went to the castle, the Edinburgh Castle, and down the Royal Mile. Again, stopped at a bunch of different like pubs and eateries and even a wine bar. So
good old pickles.
Yeah. And then plenty of stuff that I would want to do if we go back. Like there's,
for sure.
We stayed across from the Playhouse, which apparently that lots of productions go on there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Edinburgh. It kind of had the same feeling as London in a way, but like you said, it really just felt like we popped into a Harry Potter movie or like down a magical street. The architecture, even though it's kind of like shades of brown and black, it's just so pretty. The architecture's so neat. I also really liked just all the hills. Although compared to after our trip to San Francisco, Edinburgh's not as hilly as others seem to think it is. But it was just such a fun experience. I really liked walking the Royal Mile, just seeing all the shops. I mean, we only had time to pop into like 2 or 3 places before we got to lunch, where we were trying haggis because we had to go seek that out. Got to try weird foods while you're in these places, especially since, again, this was a place that we only had, 2 days? Maybe 2.5 days to explore. So we really want to make sure we packed a lot in. I really enjoyed that morning when we were just walking around and like seeing what we see. We happened to come across like Dean Village, which was really charming and cute. And then just made our way ourselves up toward the castle and then down the mile and then back to the hotel for our guided tour. So just a really cool city. But yeah, I think there's just, I don't know, there's a feeling about Edinburgh that I really liked.
Yeah. I can't put my finger on what exactly I like most about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll go back. We'll report on what that feeling is next time.
Oh yeah, homework.
All right, so that wraps up our top 10 countdown for where we traveled in 2023. Be sure to check out our blog at backtothepassport.com for more travel content. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2024. Ciao.
Ciao.